Ferrara is located near the Adriatic coast, halfway between Venice and Bologna, which is where we'll take you next week. And in a first for Getaway, we made the most of a sunny spring morning to get up early and appreciate the spectacular view of Italy's food valley from the air.
Problem is with Ferrara, there are no tall towers, so we decided to do something a little bit more creative. Hot air ballooning. Ferrara was formed in about the 8th century, and originally it just acted as a military post. It was set up as a watch point to guard against the impending invasions from the barbarians of Northern Europe. One of the interesting features of the city of Ferrara is that all of the city walls are still intact, and from this vantage point you get a really good view of the city limits. All up there's about 8 kilometres of city wall, and most of the city you can see is still built within those boundaries. Now, we thought we were pretty smart taking you up in a balloon to show you the city, but the one thing we didn't factor was the wind direction, and we were instantly blown off into the countryside. That's not such a bad thing because the view here is absolutely spectacular. But it's a good opportunity to talk a little bit about exactly how these balloons work. Like I just said, we were at the mercy of the wind direction, and the nature of these balloons is that you have no control over the direction in which you travel. The only factor you can control is the up and down, and that is basically using the simple principle of hot air risers. You'll see we've got propane gases here in the basket. That's used to light a fire up here. Right on cue, and all of the hot air which is being created by that fire is basically trapped in this balloon, and that's what sends it up. You can see right here that the ambient temperature is a nice 24 degrees, but inside of the balloon it's sitting at 77, now 78 degrees, and that's why it's rising. We've been traveling for 40 minutes, and at the moment our altitude is 455 feet, thereabouts. So it looks like we're slowly descending down because we were sitting at 1,000 feet before. We're going to get a closer look at one of these nice villages.
The adventure was not done when our feet touched the ground. Indeed, the most interesting part of the journey was the post-ride ritual.
I've actually been called back because I forgot to partake in a very important air balloon ritual, and that is the air baptism.
Joshua,
yes.
In qualità di pilota comandante della mongolfiera Golf Sierra Echo Bravo Alfa, prometto.
Prometto. I am now baptized by the air, and, well, now I get to walk home after all.
When you think about Italy, what springs to mind? Pizza? Football? Renaissance? A bull? Yes, a fighting bull. And of course, the fastest fighting bull on Earth. We're here at the Lamborghini Museum in Ferrara. It's a paradise for lovers of supercars. And although these supercars are now museum pieces, you can still smell the burning rubber and hear the earth-shattering symphony of the V12 engines.
Fabio, how are you?
Welcome.
Thank you very much. This is your museum?
This is a family museum of Ferruccio Lamborghini. In this museum you can see all industrial production of Ferruccio. All Ferruccio made in 40 years, not only cars.
Not only cars, that's right. It's really funny to think that this supercar, you know, essentially the supercar came from tractors. I mean, the improvement in performance over that time is just extraordinary. So he was making tractors, that was his profession.
Yes.
How did he move from tractors to the fastest cars in the world?
Ferruccio, when was rich, bought the most important supercar in the world. All beautiful supercar, but not good mechanical for Ferruccio. Some problems. And Ferruccio after decided himself make a supercar
Himself.
himself.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you a very hard question. Of all of these, which is your favorite?
I love all the Lamborghini cars.
Even the tractors you love.
Yes, yes, sure, yes. Ma, for me, and not only for me, the best supercar in the world, Lamborghini, it was Miura.
This one here.
Incredible supercar for 1966, beautiful design, but also first supercar in the world have engine in the back.
It's the first of the rear-engined.
Absolute, 12-cylinder 4-liter. The lowest for supercar in the world.
It's
only 1 meter and 5 centimeters. And the first supercar in the world, not for race, arrived 300 kilometers per hour. The fastest car in the world. Incredible supercar.
So it's the first rear-engined supercar. It's the lowest supercar built in its day, and it's the first supercar built for the roads that went in excess of 300 kilometers an hour. This, in essence, is the birth of the supercar.
Time to feel the speed of the red Fighting Bull. The Countach is one of the most fearsome supercars ever produced. Just listen to the engine sound. You don't simply hear it, you feel it in your soul. But do you know what's more exciting than tearing up the roads in a Lamborghini? That's right, passing another one in the process. While Ferrari is less renowned than its prestigious neighbours, it was an artistic and political powerhouse in the Renaissance, and it is one of Italy's hidden treasures. Unlike Venice, Florence and Rome, this historical jewel is not compromised by hordes of visitors every year.
These gardens are just absolutely gorgeous on a spring day. Now, This is a bit of a hidden secret of Ferrara, isn't it?
Yeah, this is one of the ways you can approach Ferrara.
Mm-hmm.
It's a city that doesn't open itself immediately, but if you walk or you pedal with the bicycle slowly, you will discover a lot of hidden gardens. This is the oldest lake in town.
Yeah?
It's the Red District of Ferrara in the 60s.
Oh, really?
The old river was here on the left.
Yeah?
And it's 1,000 years old. Look at this. Inside you'll see the oldest house in town.
Wow.
From 14th century.
It's not overly obvious with its charm like some Italian cities, but it's the sort of place that needs to be explored slowly and discovered.
Slow. Yeah. It's not a flashy, monumental town, but it has some major things, palaces, the castle, the cathedral, many churches. It was the Vatican land.
The Romanesque cathedral sits at the centre of the town, and for architecture lovers, it's a must-see destination.
900 years old.
From 1135.
Wow. And it's really beautiful in this evening light, isn't it?
Yeah.
It casts gorgeous colours.
Pink marble from Verona's area.
Yeah.
We don't have marble, so the city made a big economical effort to make it beautiful, and it's still standing after earthquakes, fires,
really?
A lot of troubles,
So
two world wars.
2 world wars, earthquakes, fires. So it would have been a very big expense back in the day for the city to build something like this.
It took 250 years. What I like best is the bas relief up there, with the stories of the Last Judgment, the end of the world.
Yes, okay.
There's an angel checking weight of good things you've done and bad things you've done with the scale.
At least they've got a bit of sense of humour about it.
Looking at Ferrara from the air, it's easy to cast your mind back to the 15th century. A short cycle north of the cathedral takes you to Castello Estense, an imposing, moated medieval castle dating back to 1385. Now, as with many castles in medieval times, this was used to house political prisoners.
It was very bad to end up there.
Yeah, okay.
Your
That was the worst case
days were
scenario.
about to expire.
Yeah, okay.
You were not coming out alive from there.
Really?
Unfortunately, like any other castle, it had many horrible stories.
Absolutely.
In it.
Absolutely. Are there any good news stories in recent years? What's it used for now?
No, it's a museum.
It's a museum.
It's much better. You can climb up the tower
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there, 120 steps.
Oh, nice.
And have a view on a sunny day like today.
Yeah, beautiful.
All over the city until the Po River. And you can control Ferrara in a different way. That's a clock with the number underneath is the day of the calendar.
How do they change the day? Just somebody takes the...
There's a special mechanism
Oh, and it actually turns
with
on.
an old silver hand that turns the days.
Fantastic.
They told me.
Before you go, be in the know. Hot air ballooning costs about €400 per hour. The trip generally includes breakfast and a certificate at the finish. The Lamborghini Museum is a paradise for supercar lovers. Ferrara has Italy's highest ratios of bikes per person, and cycling is really the best way to tour the city. A close look at the cathedral's facade tells a fascinating story of this city's wonderful history.